everyone, it's AlyMew. I've been asked a gazillion times, how do you get that avatar? How do you become a VTuber? Well, I finally put together a guide that I think will help you. If you're too lazy to watch everything, I have timestamped the sections that you might want to watch more. However, I really think you should watch that entire video. I think the first thing that is really important is understanding what a VTuber is. What is a VTuber? According to Wikipedia, the holy Bible of the internet, a VTuber is an online entertainer that uses a digital avatar generated using computer graphics. A growing trend that first originated in Japan. If you're interested in the whole entire article, feel free to read that on your own time. I think the term VTuber has morphed a lot. A lot of hardcore fans will say it's strictly for avatar users that utilize YouTube. I personally feel like as long as you're using an avatar, you are a VTuber doing the VTubing. How does the avatar work? It usually utilizes a camera from either a phone or webcam to track you in an application software for VTubing. Now that you know what a VTuber is, did you know there are two different types of avatars? 2D and 3D. 2D avatar, I think, can be cool depending on the execution of the product. I'll show you guys examples of 2D avatars I've enjoyed seeing. There's a lot of cool custom expressions or stickers that you can have as a 2D avatar.
Fucking nerd. This is what I'm talking about. You won't shoot me. You won't do it. That Coke goo. Ooh, that felt really good. So chew on that.
You joke, but the first special drink I made tonight, guys. Oh, it was for Mama Vale, and you should all be so jealous.
Is that alright? Should I lower the volume of the desktop? Should I increase my microphone volume? What should I do? 聞こえますかみんな? 音は大丈夫ですか? Smoke is kinda in the way. Maybe I'll remove that. Hold on, let me banish the smoke real quick. Off with you. Gone. 消えた. よかった. Here's my body.
You can see and be like, whoa, look at that cool Minecraft house. Wow, I didn't know Nyanners is so skilled with architecture. They'll see it and they'll be blown away.
It's this one. Nom. Nom 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 nom. Hey.
However, I feel like there is a bit more you can do with 3D. 3D, you can turn sideways or around if you have the right software and trackers. You can move your hands. There are expressions that you can use as well.
Ah! That scared the shit out of me!
Oh,
Easy, fit for fit, I love that. Oh my god. Keep distracting me.
You can bring it into VR games like Beat Saber or even VR chat.
Yeah.
Is there really a monster in here? Because I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna help me. This is like a limit.
Melody, I'm gonna hold on to your pixel.
Now that you've seen some examples, let's talk about your budget. Budget and price points. I know all of us are in different parts of our lives with financial scenarios. There's a great video from CDog VA where he spent his money on a cheap model, mid-range, and expensive one. He talks about at the beginning that he'll be submitting his reference artwork commission to people on Fiverr for VTube models. $22
make an anime 3D models for VTubers and such. This is $5. What? And the premium is $20, where we give him an OC and he'll make it. Okay.
One was most likely made in Vroid Studio, which is 3D.
Kinda feels like it's a different model being repurposed. For $22, I kinda got what I paid for.
$157.
A VTuber avatar using Live2D. And this is from Danny. Oh, it's all around the board, so damn, this guy must be good. Okay, let's order it.
To me, it looks like it barely works and pretty much used the artwork reference that he used or sent to them. The rig, on the other hand, barely captures and moves with him. The $1,000 one
And finally, we have the ultra premium expensive option.
was super good considering the person not only redrew his reference artwork, but was able to rig it and capture and animate his expressions. If you're interested in watching the full video, I will link it in the description below. This pretty much explains this chart I've seen a bunch of times throughout my life. If you want something cheap and fast, it usually means you have to sacrifice quality. If you want something of quality, it usually takes time and money. Now you have an idea of how much you're spending, you might want to decide what kind of quality you want. If I was interested in VTubing during my high school or university years, I would have to either A, go for the cheapest options, B, try to attempt to make it myself, C, work hard in saving up for the best people in the community. In the 3D aspect of things, I know there is Vroid Studio, which is completely free. There are tons of tutorials online teaching you how to use it. There are some that use a combination of Vroid Studio and Blender to make it even more unique. I have no idea how to work this program, but there seems to be a sea of tutorials for you all to look into it if you want to make it yourself with this simple program. Models like mine are made from scratch by 3D artists that have years of experience. I have seen videos of people teaching and modeling. There's a few 3D modelers that show their process and even stream it too. I already ruled out in my head that there was no way I was going to make this myself. I'd rather work and make money and then fund someone who knows what they are doing to create it for me. I knew for a fact that if I went with a cheaper alternative, I'm going to eventually want to upgrade it. You know, I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that. 2D is just as complicated. The only program that people use is called Live2D. I believe there is a free trial you can try to tinker around with. If you want to pay for it, there is an indie price point and a pro business price point. I've looked at tutorials and it was something my brain can't wrap around. I again would rather save up for a pro to work on my avatar if I wanted a 2D model. Keeping all this in mind, you now know about the different price points that a model can cost. I know CDawg went around using a reference image, but it's a bit more complicated. People usually find an artist to design their character. Then, you bring it to a rig artist, 2D avatar, or a 3D model artist. It is very rare to find someone who would do both the art, rig, or the 3D model. Like a one package deal. Artists for 2D and 3D. The first step is having the art design of your OC, aka original character. This is usually a reference sheet with the full front of the character and back of the character. Take your time. Brainstorm. Write a list. It can be simple or over-designed. Just remember, the simpler, the easier it is for the artist to create. The more complicated, the more it could end up costing since there is so much detail. Well, cost and time. Don't forget, if it's complicated in the art part, then it will be more expensive and time consuming when it gets turned to 3D or 2D when it's getting rigged. Please do your research to see if anyone has anything similar to your concept so you can adjust your idea to be more unique. I've seen people get upset that they didn't know someone existed that looked like their OC. Avoid also any other copyrighted designs that are out there. You don't want to have a company chasing you down trying to sue your butt. Do your best to be unique before you seal the deal of getting your final reference drawn. 2D avatar art needs to have an artist that knows how to layer and draw the correct assets that help the rig artist bring it to life. Not every artist will know how to do this. Most artists that specify that they can create Live2D ready art that are prepped to be rigged will be more expensive than regular art commissions. Again, it's because you have to separate the hair, the eyes, mouth, and the layers just for the artist, the rig artist, to animate them separately. There's so many price points you will find for this. You can also opt to just have the half body, which would cut the cost down. For a little bit more, you can have the full body. Don't forget, the rig artist will also charge the difference for rigging half a body or a full body. So it might be cheaper just to have a half body art and get the rig artist to also rig only a half body, which is a little bit cheaper. 3D avatar art is just a reference sheet. The artist doesn't even have to do anything special. They should provide the front and the back of the design of your character for the 3D modeler to be able to reference from. This probably opens up a lot more options for finding artists since they don't have to layer it like the 2D art needs to be. It took me a few days of research to figure out if I would like to have a 2D or a 3D model. I came to the conclusion that I would like a 2D, but 3D seemed to be the easiest to attain. I made sure to check out the TOS, Terms of Service, for all the artists that I was interested in. Artists charge extra for commercial purposes, which your 2D, 3D model is for. Always ask questions before your commission. It's better to hammer out all the issues or uncertainty you have before commissioning someone. The worst is not ironing out what is expected and having an issue with the artist at the end. The professionals will always answer every single question you have. I would yeet out if I felt like that person was avoiding answering simple questions or has issues communicating within 1 to 2 days. Most artists have a waiting list, so always make sure to ask for an ETA, estimate time, when they can work on it. Some people might skip others for another artist just because they don't want to wait as long. Take it from someone experienced. If there is an artist you absolutely love, but they have a long waiting list, just put yourself on the waiting list. It's worth waiting for what you want. I took my time looking through artists and found Tofu Buns, who is the artist that designed my character. She was charging $225 for a reference sheet with commercial fees. Please keep in mind, prices can fluctuate every month, or that if you want something super complicated, the price can vary. Her terms of service was the same as most people. Prices were decent. I love her artwork, and it was the style I was seeking for. It's also cool that she streams her commissions too. Perfect. I watched her streams and loved her vibe. That being said, I would never bug Tofu during her streams regarding when she would work on my artwork. I would give her a week to respond with any progress before wanting to ask for an update in private channels. I think it's fair to give an artist a week before asking them for updates. Luckily, Tofu works professionally and would update me maybe 2 through 4 days. If I did have a simple question, she would respond to me within a day or hours later if we were both awake at the same time. I live in Europe and she lives in North America. I understand time zones and that people have lives. I really hope you guys do too. My timeline started on October 16, 2020. I messaged Tofu if I could hire her to make my VTuber. asking her questions about her service and if her price included commercial fees. Once we hammered out everything, including the price, the next day I made and shared a mood board of the avatar styles I liked, what I'd like my avatar to possibly look similar to, outfit ideas, notes as well. A week later, Tofu lets me know I'm next in line to be able to start drafting my character. We also sort out the payment. I get the sketches at the end of the month. She has provided different variations that I can choose from. This was super cool. I pretty much Frankensteined the parts I liked in Krita to make what I thought was cute and sent it back to her. It took till mid-November to have the final piece. I now had to find a 3D modeler artist. I went through a lot of portfolios and looking at price range, asking people how much they charge, looking at their finished projects they made for other people. That's when I came across Rika, who is part of the Artemis Guild. They have made amazing models. However, I love the avatar Rika made for Alexia.
Hi, for the days that I want to stream without a cam, now we have this.
That's what sold me. I inquired about the price by submitting my reference sheet on November 23rd. I was then told the day after that the commission process will happen around December 12th through December 20th. When December 12th rolled around, I was given the information about the package and price. I would be getting a model made from scratch that includes 4 basic expressions. I will get 2 files at the end, which is FBX and VRM file. This also includes 4 minor and 1 major revision. I also opted to have 3 extra expressions. The process that they did updates will be in 4 steps. 1 step, when the mesh is done. 2nd step, when the texture is done. 3rd is when the expressions are done. And lastly is when the rigging is done. The total would come out to $900. We went back and forth regarding about the design and making sure notes were made before they started on the model. The payment process is paying 50% upfront and then paying the remaining 50% when they deliver the files. December 15, which is 3 days later, I got an update with the base without texture. Looking good. December 20th, I received the update about the texture and if anything needed to be revised. I give some feedback. Few hours, I got an updated version. We wait now for expressions. 2 days later, on December 23rd, I get the expressions are done. I then inquire about an ETA so I can plan my debut date. I get a response that most likely at the end of December. I think about it, and I set my debut date to January 17th, 2021, which gives me ample time to prep for it. December 26th, 11 days later, I get a footage of the avatar in motion. So excited at this point. I get asked if any revisions are needed and to pay the other 50% to get my files. I get the file and still have some time to double check if I needed anything redone. January rolls around and I realize that I really wanted to put together a MMD dance and my avatar needs to be in PMX file. I message Artemis if I can get it done before my debut. They said they could, and it was going to cost $150 more. Of course, I wanted it. I commissioned and paid on January 3rd. I haven't heard from them about any update, so I emailed them after a week about the ETA on the 9th. Artemis responds the next day that I'll get an update or final file on January 15 or 16. Luckily, I get the file on January 11th. I worked very hard on my debut. And finally, on January 17, everything comes together. So my timeline took from October 16, 2020, all the way to December 26, 2020. If we don't include the file that I needed for the dance program. If it's just this avatar itself, I would say that it honestly took 2 to 3 months, which I think sounds like a fairly quick timeline. You also have to include like the fact that you discuss things, and then when the artist works on it or the 3D modeler works on it, I think 2 to 3 months definitely was quick. I was there at the right place on the right time. A lot of people end up on waiting lists, really long ones too, for really good people. I think what matters is if the people you're commissioning are doing this full time as well. If they are, then they will move, respond at a timely manner. If you're dealing with someone who is doing this as their side job, then it might take a lot longer. It is okay to also be a PNG Vtuber. This is when you have your reference design, but you're waiting and saving for your rig artist or 3D modeler. Some people have this cool effect where it lights up or it just sits at the gameplay while they wait for when they can debut the finished product. Debut? What is this debut we hear about? I know a lot of VTubers seem to enjoy debuts. It's when you reveal your finished avatar that's rigged. They present and introduce themselves formally to the community. I've been to so many debuts to be so happy for them and celebrate and enjoy their content that they put together for their debuts. To me, it's setting a date to celebrate all the hard work of communicating and waiting for your avatar to be done. In my case, I also worked very hard saving my money that I've spent on it as well. In total, I've spent for the avatar $1,275. I know some people would think it's very expensive, but to me it's normal because the people involved are worth it. I'm paying for their skills and professionalism. I don't have to worry about any hiccups, and they're very, very quick to respond to me. Now, don't forget, there are scammers out there. Scammers! I know you guys out there might want to cut corners with prices, but please be warned. There are a lot of scammers out there right now in the VTubing community. They even exist on Fiverr, stealing photos from other people's portfolios, passing it off as their own. Aggressive Twitter tactics that look spammy. Even in DMs, they might seem very pushy for down payments. The prices are absurdly low. What can you do to avoid this scam? Well, you could start by asking the VTubers that they claim to have worked for. You can reverse image search the portfolio and double check with the VTuber on Twitter or ask on Twitch if XYZ was their rig artist or their, art artist. Most VTubers are super nice and they will understand why you're asking. You can also see who rigged or did their art on their Twitter profile. Or even on their Twitch page. There's always that credit section. So please, please, please always do your research. I would really hate to hear that you've been scammed. This video has taken a lot of time and energy.
Don't forget to smack that like button, subscribe, and also follow me on Twitch. I'm such a sellout.
I hope I did a good job giving you guys information about my experience becoming a VTuber. I've also included a playlist of other people's videos explaining the process of becoming a VTuber, using programs or what programs that they use or how they use it, how to use these programs, streaming etiquettes, to even streaming tips. Let me know in the comments below if you were able to learn anything, if this was interesting. Definitely would love to start a discussion here with you guys. I'll do my best to respond during my free time. If there are any future videos you'd like to see me create, just let me know. Bye, you guys. Bye.